Because let's face it, this is more fun than the Big Ten. And until it gets more interesting, I'm opting out. So here we go. At number 10, I'm going to go with, out of the Pac-12, the University of Oregon. Oregon has a big game coming up this weekend. They're going to be taking on UCLA. We're going to find out. They lost at the very beginning of the year to Georgia, and they haven't lost since, folks. And I know, here's what happens in college football. When you lose a game, people write you off, and they forget about you.
Kenny was doing that.
But guess what? They went on this long winning streak. I got Oregon sitting at 10. At number 9, man, talk about a fall from grace. I know it was probably lonely at the top, but now they're down with the pores.
Lonely at the top.
The University of Alabama.
They stink.
Alabama loses to Tennessee. They have been flirting with just ineptitude all season long. Defense just on the verge.
They can't pass block, and the secondary's horrible.
Yeah. So I got Alabama sitting at 9.
Who was at 10? And I apologize.
Oregon.
Big showdown versus UCLA this week.
Yeah, Oregon loses week 1 to Georgia.
Do you have – I don't want to ruin it. I was about to ask if you had a particular team ahead of them, but I guess I'll wait and find out.
Well, let's wait and see.
Okay.
That's why we do this way.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Welcome to radio. At number 8.
Oh, man.
The Mike Valenti B team, the University of Ole Miss.
Yeah, and they're in a danger spot this weekend at Death Valley against LSU, who's up and down, up and down. I can't figure it out.
You don't know. Yeah, to me, LSU is kind of like the team they just played Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know which Florida team you're going to get each week. You may steamroll them, or you know what, you get steamrolled.
My issue with Ole Miss is still they're one-dimensional. Their passing game has just not taken off. Running game's electric, but Jackson Dart has just not gotten it done at quarterback. I don't know. I want to, and that's a rivalry game. LSU and Ole Miss hate each other. If good LSU shows up, I'll bet you Ole Miss won't be in this list next week.
You're probably right, because they haven't played the greatest of schedule, but they're undefeated, so they're in there. At number 7, and raise your hand if you thought this weekend was going to be the game that's probably going to pick your champion in the ACC with Clemson and Syracuse.
Oh, the Cuse is loose.
But at 7, I have Clemson.
So that's lower than probably anyone else. Why?
Because I look at Clemson's schedule, not really that impressed. Yeah, you beat NC State and you beat Boston College in the red bandana game, but it's the same feel like before the Penn State game when I saw with Michigan. You're winning games. I'm just not impressed with what you're doing. So I start thinking, okay, if you played this team this week, who would win? So that's why I have them down at 7.
Okay, and look, their D-line is finally healthy. I mean, they played a few weeks without Brian Brisset, who had the tragedy of losing his sister to cancer. A couple of the other players had just been flat-out hurt. Secondary's been shuffling guys in and out. I do think you're going to see their defense begin to pick it up now. Here's a weird thing for all the people. When you get your players back, your defense gets better. Signed M. Tucker in East Lansing. But it's the truth. Clemson will start now. Offensively, I still don't love him on offense.
I'm wondering when they're going to just make that switch at quarterback, because you got to think.
It's not going to happen. DJ's playing fine enough, and he's already –
we thought that about a team in Ann Arbor.
Okay then. Next.
At number 6, probably a team that nobody stays up late enough to watch. And they have a big game coming up this week against my number 10 team, Oregon.
Good, man.
UCLA.
All right, I wanted to make sure you at least had UCLA in the top 10. They're in a tough spot.
They are.
This is Oregon, bye week, at home. Outson is brutal to play in, and it's home Bo Nix versus road Bo Nix. If UCLA wins this game, I give them the same credibility people are giving Tennessee and Michigan, meaning they might be for real. This is a tough spot this weekend.
And even though they did it at home, and we all, hey, that USC-Utah game, they've already beaten Utah.
Right.
And they beat them 42-32.
Yep.
So Yeah, they're the team that nobody watches because, once again, we wrote off UCLA a long time ago thinking nobody goes to their games. Stadium's empty. Ha, ha, ha.
No, they're good.
Yeah, they're
real
actually
good.
pretty good. At number 5, Texas Christian University. The Horned Frog. That's it, Mike.
Horny up!
That's the thing.
The Horned
The thing.
Frogs of TCU. They've already knocked off Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, and like it or not, Kansas. Because Kansas may be not what we think, but they're giving everybody problems.
Buckle up.
And they also knocked off the best team in Texas in SMU.
Yeah, and
according to
they got the Giant Slayers this weekend, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
The boys from the Little Apple.
They got Kansas State 8:00 game. So
And is that at TCU or is
it's
that
at TCU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be careful there. Dude,
Uh-oh.
K-State, be careful.
Little cash the ticket preview.
It is.
Oh.
We're going to talk about this tomorrow when we tape. That game, that is the very scary matchup of the week right there. That line is crazy in that game.
At number 4, which means if the playoffs started today, they would be in. David, your University of Michigan.
Ooh, I think that's too low.
Your University of Michigan in after just shellacking Penn State. Even though the halftime score didn't look like it, Penn State was never in control of this game. Penn State had 2 plays in the first half that benefited them. The long run by Sean Clifford and that wacky pick 6 that happened that no one realized.
They were winning the game with 1 first down.
Yeah.
Michigan had like 16.
Yeah. And then in the second half, Michigan boat raced them. So I got Michigan at number 4. You said that's too low?
I think it is, but I'm not going to quibble. You have them in the playoff. I'd
Right.
have Michigan as high as 2.
I want to see who's at 3, though. Then I'll comment.
At 3, I have the University of Georgia, the defending champions. Georgia, in my opinion, looks bored. Georgia's starting to look like Georgia. They played Vandy last weekend and just shut them out. You know what? We're not even going to make this close. We're not going to let you think you have a chance. We are better than you. We're more athletic than you. You should be thankful you're on the field with us. That's what they look like. That's the Georgia of old. I think they're starting to round into shape. So I got Georgia sitting there at number 3.
I can't knock it. I'm with you. They got to play Tennessee, and they got to play them right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've had enough. They're playing these cupcakes every week, and it's so long ago since they played Oregon, it's like it doesn't even matter to me.
At number 2, well, you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Tennessee, it took over 6,000 days to finally beat Alabama, but I got Tennessee at number 2. You knocked off Alabama. Everybody else was giving Alabama the body blows. You KO'd them. And it was a track meet. Wasn't any defense. Wasn't pretty. But you know what? $100,000 later and 2 goalposts gone, you did it. You won. Now, the good thing for Tennessee, they're playing UT Martin
They don't need
this
goalposts
week.
for that
No.
game.
If they would have played any other team this week, I promise you they would have lost. There was no way they were going to be able to get back up for another team. So if they were playing Kentucky this week, I would have took Kentucky, whatever points. Kentucky would have won that game. But I got Tennessee at 2. At number 1, I got Ohio State. I still think Ohio State is probably the most complete team out there. They're doing it with backups. They're still minus their top receiver, and maybe the top receiver in this upcoming draft hasn't played since week 1, very sparingly. I got the Buckeyes sitting there at number 1.
And again, to win the national title, they are by far and away the shortest price at plus 160. For comparison, Michigan's plus 1,600, Tennessee's plus 1,700. I think there's value in Michigan. I still, Tennessee feels like an imposter.
But you know
I'm just
what?
saying. And you know I like them.
No, but here's the thing.
That's
It's-
America's hooker, Hendon Hooker. That's my guy.
They beat 4 top 25 teams so far this season.
Have
the
they?
only one in America.
Have they?
I have to go with who they
But-
play.
Have they?
No, but see, here's the thing. As you like the word, you don't get to re-adjudicate this.
Okay.
And when you play the team, if you got the little number, beside you,
Okay.
it counts.
Fine. Not even going to argue it. Do whatever you want. Goulet.
That's your top. That's your top 10 for week 7 in college football.